Today is a great day to start your own podcast. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, have a message you want to share with the world, or just think it'd be a bit of a giggle to have your own talk show, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive and fun way to expand your reach online. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Deezer. There's loads and all done within a couple of minutes of uploading and finishing your recording. Podcasting isn't hard when you've got the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout are passionate about helping you succeed. They've helped us out over at the MBS podcast, so you can join us and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get the message out to the world. Following the link in the show notes lets Buzzsprout know that we sent you. This gets you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan, and it helps support our show. So thanks for that, and we appreciate it. Hello and welcome to this episode 6 of the MBS podcast with me, John.
And Mark.
And Marky Boy. And today we are talking about hobbies.
Hobbies.
Yeah, man, things to keep you occupied, keep your mind sharp, keep your mind fresh, things you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Like, just because, really. Like, yeah. I think it's... So, both you and I have read Dr. Rangan Chatterjee's book, The Four Pillar Plan, which kind of very briefly is kind of a book about looking after yourself and keeping yourself out the doctors by doing things that are eating properly, exercising, relaxing and sleeping properly. They're your 4 pillars of the 4 pillar plan. So this kind of ties in with the relaxing, or things you do to relax and to chill yourself out, to keep yourself in a good physical and mental state. I think, yeah, well, it is, yeah. So
yeah.
That's
I mean, that's you would probably put that down as your hobby, wouldn't you? 'Cause you're quite into all that, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, going from a 30 a day, drinking loads of coffee, drinking beer, eating crap type bloke to looking into it a bit and kind of going, things might need to change a little bit there, into other areas. Oh, hey,
Santa Claus has arrived.
Santa Claus or Sahara the cat has just arrived in the recording studio table, and yep, there she is. Have a sniff. Fair enough. Why not? Yeah. So I had a few health problems, as I mentioned, and sorted myself out, and started to read an awful lot more into the mindfulness and well-being type side of life, which to me originally was a bit very too much hippy dippy stuff. Like, because you kind of, I think you think mindfulness and well-being, you think kind of yoga and meditating man, and like having to suddenly have dreadlocks and wear like hippie clothes, tied up
on the mat,
tied
in
on
the
stuff.
middle of a field with one leg in the air,
Yeah,
and your hands.
I mean, to be fair, don't get me wrong, I do a bit of yoga and I actually quite enjoy it. I don't do it in classes, I just kind of follow videos on YouTube and stuff, and actually it's not bad, and it's a lot harder than it looks. Tell you that for nothing.
I do a bit of yoga myself, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, you know, when you've got a can in your top cupboard, right at the back. That's a bit of a stretch.
The reaching can pose.
Yes.
The reaching can pose. Then there's the picking up soap pose.
Yeah. Or something rolls under your sofa. That's always quite.
The "Are you bastard" pose.
Yeah. That's about me with yoga, I'm afraid.
Yeah. No. I mean, I do a bit of it. I'm not like, again, I'm not into the overly hippy dippy side of it. So I've kind of made it so that the whole thing suits me. So sort of picked and chosen what I like and elements of it, and the elements that are a bit too hippie for me, if you like. I've kind of Johnified them or manified them or modernised them a little bit. But, you know, ultimately, it's made me feel a lot better. My health issues have all but gone away. I'm fitter and healthier. My mind's sharper and clearer than it was. Packed in the fags, so that was good.
Yeah.
Realistically speaking, that was actually awesome. It's probably like one of the landmark achievements in my life, to be fair, packing up the fags. I do vape, yes, I am one of those people, and occasionally you probably will hear me puff away on the vape. Well, yeah, I actually had to stop and cancel and restart a recording because I realised that I'd taken a massive vape in before I started, and then I was just talking weird. So yeah, I do a bit of that. We've got a colleague of mine, Neil, coming in at some point in the future to talk to us about mindfulness in more detail, so I won't go into that too much.
Would you say it's a hobby? All that? I mean, yoga. People do yoga.
Yoga is a hobby. Pilates is a hobby,
like gym
and all that.
All that
Yeah,
sort of stuff.
yeah. Like going to the gym. So yeah, do you know what? I think fitness overall probably is a bit of a hobby.
Yeah.
So
I've gone. I used to run once a week just to keep fit. I don't really need to lose any weight or anything. So I've got a rowing machine, but yeah, there's all different things, isn't there?
yeah, I think it's a bit of a crossover.
Regards
So
to
he's
that.
going to come in and talk to us in detail about that, rather than it being me rambling on about it and not really knowing enough. He knows what he's talking about. He lives, eats, and breathes mindfulness and well-being. So that'll be him. So that's pretty cool.
I've had quite a few hobbies, I'd say, in my lifetime. Like growing up, I've been to beavers, sea cadets, did a bit of judo, bit of jiu-jitsu. I've gamed my whole life from Atari, Spectrum,
Yep.
Nintendo, SNES, 64, probably onto the PlayStation. Not really ever been a massive Sega fan.
No.
So I sort of stuck. I went down a Nintendo route and then straight onto Sony's PlayStation. I did have the original Xbox when it came out with all 4 games, I think, were released with it.
Yep. Yeah, there wasn't a lot.
But because it got boring so quickly, I just got rid of it.
Although I will say, back in '99, when I'm sure it was '99. Yeah, it was '99 when the original Xbox was released.
It was huge.
Yeah, massive black thing. Friend of like a group of obviously it was a group of us that kicked around with each other back in the day, and one of the lads was a bit older than us, had got his own place. He'd got the Xbox on the day it released, and he'd got it hooked up to a projector, and he'd painted a wall in his flat white so that you could put the projector up and hook it up to the Xbox. And that was like the reason he did it. He went out and bought the projector, he bought everything, so it was all hooked up. And I've got to say, that was a pretty awesome couple of days where we spent pretty much in his flat surviving on pizza and beer, playing Halo multiplayer.
Yes, because you plug 4 controllers into that.
Yeah,
couldn't you?
man.
I did the same. So my friend Chris, his parents had gone away for the weekend, so loads of us went round to his.
Yeah.
And we smashed out quite a few hours worth of that after a good session of drinking, etc.
Yeah, man.
The night before.
Like, but it was also because that was like a proper game changer, wasn't it? Because you had like the N64 where you could do multiple controllers with GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was awesome, wasn't it? GoldenEye 64.
Yeah,
That's fucking
that was
awesome. And Mario
good
Kart.
Mario Kart's amazing.
But everything was like cartoony, wasn't it? All of the gaming was cartoony sort of style rather than it being like realistic. Like obviously graphics come on leaps and bounds in 20 years, but
Yeah.
but like, you know, from then to now, like everything was cartoony. I guess it was easy to animate. I was a Sega boy.
Ah.
Sega.
Streets of Rage,
Mate,
Sonic,
nothing.
Golden Axe.
Yeah. Alex Kidd in Miracle World built into the Master System 2.
Yes, that was.
I reckon that there are listeners that don't even know what a Master System 2 is.
No, probably not.
And I bet there are probably some listeners that have never played on PlayStation 1.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, man. Because that's 1999.
No, I suppose.
That's 99, mate.
pushing it back a bit.
I work with people. Like,
What about Spectrum?
Oh, mate.
A Spectrum 128K built-in cassette,
And a Commodore 64. Yeah. Ah, see, no.
and then it doesn't work, so you've got to rewind the whole tape,
Yes.
cassette tape,
And reload it.
reload the game.
Yeah, man. Do you, like, is there a little bit of nostalgia every time you hear a fax machine? On the very rare occasion that you hear that fax machine noise in the distance from loading up games for me on the Commodore 64 via the cassette tape.
I always wanted the Commodore 64 because you could play Street Fighter 1 on it.
Could you?
Yes, you could actually play the original Street Fighter was on the Commodore 64.
Was it really? I missed that one. Maybe it was just my mum not letting me have it because it was violent.
Yes.
Couldn't have that thing.
Cannot
But on the Commodore 64,
play those games.
No, because I'm such a delicate little soul.
So I mean, what else? Airsoft, both done that. Obviously, you've way more than what I have.
Yep, been in that a little bit.
Paintball, I did, but I wouldn't really say it was a hobby because it wasn't something I continuously did.
I don't know many people that have done paintball as a hobby. They definitely exist. People definitely do it as a hobby, but it's more like a stag do, or we'll go once every couple of years.
Birthday,
yeah. Lads are going out. We're going to go do a bit of paintball, and then we're going to go out on the piss.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Even go karting. I would have done go karting as a hobby, but it's stupidly expensive.
Right, the money in it.
For the amount of time you're doing it, unless you've got your own cart and you've got somewhere to race it, just going to do a rental for a 30-minute session's like 40 quid. I think there's a couple of karting places that my brother and I went to that were £25 on like a Thursday between 12 and 4 or something that. So we made the most of those for a few times, but there's not anywhere close to where we are. I would say we're talking down in like Crawley and places like that. So unfortunately, I'd probably do that a bit more. I went through a huge phase of making my own music using PC.
EJ.
Yeah, I used all sorts of programs. I mean, Fruity Loops, got Cubase, although I didn't actually finish anything on Cubase.
And to be fair,
Cubase, a lot of the EJs, I actually thought they were
man,
alright.
they were. Like I remember getting Dance EJ, and probably like 1998, 97, something like that.
Yeah, probably that. Yeah, I would 98. I was definitely making them around that sort of time because I remember someone in probably 2002, I'd say, actually, I didn't even have a disc recorder, so I couldn't put any of my music on the disc.
Burn it.
So, So one of my friends, he took my music and burnt them onto disc for me. I sent quite a few out.
Did you?
To be honest, yeah. Didn't hear nothing back.
Oh.
But the thought was there. I didn't know who I was sending to. I used to buy like a music magazine once a month, and there was a book that come with one with a lot of producers and companies. So
was that like Mixmag or something?
Yeah, like, I can't remember the name. I did buy Mixmag.
Mixmag was awesome back in the day.
Yeah, you used to get like a free little CD with it and stuff every week.
Yeah.
So I did that for quite a while. I really enjoyed that.
I think young me couldn't get my head around Cubase. Was really convoluted, really complex.
Yeah.
And like came on like 10 discs.
Definitely a pro.
Oh yeah, that was
program.
for people that knew what they were doing back. A bit easier now though, isn't it? Like,
it's drag and drop. That's what you want. Nice little thing. I had loads of discs with samples on where especially with the music production magazine that I used to get. Used to get discs with samples and plugins and bits. So I used to just load all my samples up onto my computer. And then just go through like bass loops or bits and pieces and just listen to a few. Oh yeah, I quite like that. I'll drop that in and this. It's good fun. Especially
man.
End result.
Yeah, especially Well, most people won't know this, but you actually put together on GarageBand?
Yes, strangely.
GarageBand?
Just a quick play in one morning.
The intro and outro to the MBS podcast. So that was you. So thanks for that.
That's all right. A little bit of dubstep for everybody.
A little bit.
So enjoy. I've still got to make my nursery rhyme. My COVID nursery rhyme.
COVID nursery rhyme. Yeah, that'll be fun. Look forward to that in the charts. It's
cars.
Yeah, man.
More detailing. I think that was a bit of a hobby for quite a while. Just quite liked it.
I think it still is. It's just I mean, this year 2020 has been like, let's not even talk about 2020. It's been a write-off year, isn't it? Like you got filthy looks if you washed your car out the front of your house. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, they're spreading COVID by cleaning.
Yeah, but I mean polishing and just generally maintaining the car. I only used to do my own, so I've always sort of just done it quite regularly. But over the last couple of years,
both of us.
Detailing in general has taken off. I mean, the
Yeah,
amount
man.
of products you can buy now from different companies is crazy. So now I've got polisher and
Mhm.
waxes, ceramic waxes, ceramic shampoos, reset,
All sorts of crazy stuff.
detailing sprays.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Wheel wax. It's crazy the amount of stuff you can buy. So there's a lot to it, but you can pick it up quite quick, and there's a lot of internet pages where you can subscribe and see how things are. YouTube has got a lot of videos. There, so yeah, it's easy.
Yeah,
easy
mate.
enough to
You
pick
and
up.
you and I've quite often sat down in here watching YouTube videos of like filthy car detailing from detailers in the States and in the UK and all over the show, really, haven't we? It's like me personally, pretty much same as you, really, with the detailing and gaming to a degree. But like I said before, I'm not sit in front of a games console for a day, and I hate playing online. I think it's just because I'm crap at it. So
You only get a good boy doing it.
yeah, right. But I'd rather get immersed in a story and disappear off and play the storyline, like things like Fallout 4, like that was a massive game, or Skyrim was a huge game. Although a bit wizards and magicy for me, it's not really my cup of tea, but I still played it. And games where you can get like proper involved in it, and like when we were playing Far Cry, like Far Cry 5. So play a game, go and do a couple of missions, follow the storyline for a bit, and then go fishing.
Yeah,
Because
literally.
because you know what? Oh, it's hunting season at the moment, so I'm going to go and shoot myself some deer and take them off somewhere, or I'm going to go fishing. I'm going to go and do that because that's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. So I mean, those sort of games are more me, and they're not like they just get ruined by people online. Fallout 76 is an abomination, and like I know that Liz gets upset with that because she loves it, but I think it's possibly one of the worst games I've ever seen in my life. It's horrific. It's horrific. It crashes all the time. It doesn't work properly, and it just sucks. It does. Sorry, Bethesda. But you suck. You failed epically. And to any listeners who think that I'm wrong, tough. It sucks. Call of Duty might be expensive. They might want you to buy all sorts of stuff, but at least it works. It works.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd rather play Call of Duty online for 2 hours.
Generally get too many issues. There are issues.
No, of course, yeah. Everything has bugs. It's programming, isn't it? But oh man, Fallout 76 is just the worst. Worst. It is. It is the worst. Worst game I've ever played. So yeah. Anyway, moving on from that.
Movies and music.
Yeah, man.
Both of us definitely into that.
well big into
I've got a lot into TV series now. I've met my partner. She loves a good TV series. She wasn't really on films. She's TV series.
Yeah.
So we've sort of come together with that, and we'd sort of do a bit of both now. So which is quite good. So I've watched a few decent TV series.
I'm big on my music. Like I came from the of us inverted commas young folk. Came from an era where dance music was the best, where like chill dance music was awesome. There was nothing better than like a little bit of chicane offshore or saltwater.
I listen to trance, happy hardcore, jungle, drum and I love a bit of drum and bass.
Yeah.
Garage, obviously that moving on garage.
Exactly.
I quite like a bit of everything.
So we did,
really...
like you and I, in terms of like music or like dance music, we came from an era where it was awesome, and like for me, I like banging on like classic chill out stuff, like proper IB for chill stuff, splatting on the sofa. We've got like the LED lighting underneath the sofa and the uplighters and that, banging them on red, and like fading through to orange and red, and just putting on like a chill out album on the dot thing on the speaker, and just laying there chilled out, listening to some like blissed out beats. Do you know what I mean? Splattered on the that's like my little bit of headspace.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like if you've had a crap day at work, you can get away with it.
I think music does cheer people up.
Oh, definitely, mate. Definitely, and it's like good. It's a good reset. Definitely, yeah. Well, it definitely cheers you up because you listen to some tunes and immediately your foot's tapping and you don't even realise you're doing it, or you're up and about dancing around, or just, and I mean like silly things, isn't it? Like
it can change your mood.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Depends on what you're listening to as well.
Totally flip you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You could be sad and start putting on sad songs, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. I
there's
think
all sorts.
like music is definitely an emotional led thing. Because if you're in a bad mood, like if I'm in a bad mood, like I mean, I'm putting on Limp Bizkit. Do you know what I mean? We're break stuff. We're like
Bit of angry music.
yeah, man, angry music, like stomping around the house, and like I've got like corn blasting out or
God.
something like that. And do you
I
know,
could not listen to that.
Yeah, see, but then
Ever.
like you know, I'm like my music taste goes from like
Mine's pretty big,
proper
but there's limits.
mine goes from actual classical music, you know, like Bach and Beethoven and everything, all the way up to modern-ish sort of stuff, because I like some modern stuff, but in the words of my dad, what is this shit you're listening to? Gets said to my daughter
Turn
quite a
that
lot.
Spice Girls off again, John. Get that Spice
I will
Girls
not
off.
give up my Spice album. I will not. It will never happen. I will not, from my cold, dead hands, mate. So yeah, I like music because it helps me chill out, helps me get my headspace, helps me keep relaxed. Airsoft was a big part of both mine and my wife's life for a number of years, because we ran an airsoft company, which was awesome. Met some amazing people, and still I am very good friends with those. Still get out and about and play, nowhere near as much. In fact, I think you've played more than I have in the last 18 months, to be fair, probably.
Possibly.
I haven't been out for ages. Not that that's really an issue, but it is what it is. Yeah, the cars, man. Cars. See, I like cars. And I remember years ago, I was working on my Toyota Sleeker. And I was at the front. And the next door neighbour and woman over the road were these... they were lovely, but they were, in my eyes, they were a bit wacky. They went to some church, like Church of Witches and spiritualist stuff.
Okay.
I was like, okay.
Never saw any frogs around where you live then.
Nope. Loads of black cats though.
And
Strange.
brooms.
And broomsticks parked up outside. No, but like they were. She was a white witch, as she used to tell me
Okay.
regularly. She forgot an awful lot of stuff, or she was just crackers, one or the other. But I remember working outside and in the car, and she was like, "Oh, we had a vision of you in the church, and that you need a bit of help, and you need a bit of guidance and saving, and all this." And I was like, "Oh, fucking, here we go. Here come out the fucking Bible basher brigade." Do you know what I mean? If you're a Christian, fair enough. Keep it to yourself. Any religion, in fact, anything, just keep it to yourself. Enjoy it for you. I don't need you to ram it down my throat. Do you know what I mean? Like, and she was like, "Yeah, we really think that you should come to the church and have and spend some time with us and blah blah blah." And I was like, "What?" And I said to her, I was like, "Nah, this is my church." Like tapping on the engine. She was like, "What do you mean that's your church?" And I went, "That's what I believe. It's what I can measure. It's what I can see. It's what I can feel. Like there is a certain tranquility to be had from taking apart an engine, putting it all back to fixing apart, putting it all back together. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a mechanic. I'm like, I break more stuff than I fix. Like, but taking it apart, putting it back together again, turning the key in the ignition, boom, fires up. Beautiful, beautiful. Because it's measurable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Suck, squeeze, bang, blow. Do you know what I mean? I know that spark into the fuel is going to create an explosion. It's going to move a piston, which transfers itself further down the engine to a box. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know how the engine works. I know what it does. I know it's measurable, and it's reliable.
Yeah.
Like going and sitting at the Church of Witchcraft with Cracker's old lady with her half pink hair and the mad other woman over the road. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, wouldn't be comforting.
No.
I wouldn't find that. Not that I think religion is a hobby.
It's about
but
interest,
like,
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but being interested in something, being like, I just couldn't take it seriously. And she was like, "Right, fine, fair enough," and then got really stroppy with me and didn't talk to me for about 3 weeks because I was like, churches, no. But like, for me, like having a hobby to absorb yourself in, and like Liz rolls her eyes every time I say I'm going to do something. So the podcast, roll eyes. John's got a new hobby. Do you know what I mean? Oh, we're going to go and do airsoft. Roll eyes, airsoft, new hobby. Yeah, jokes on her. She loves it. The detailing. Oh Christ, what's he bought now? What else has he got? Oh, she's got a very shiny, clean car that's very well protected and looked after. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I do jump between hobbies and interests. and it's not because I'm bored of it. It's kind of because I learn how to do it. Not that I'm the best in the world at it, because I think to be the best in the world at something, you've continually got to do it, and to be able to pick up all the new bits and bobs. But I'll get to a point where I'm good.
You've reached your own limit.
Yeah.
Where you're happy with.
Yeah, that I'm yeah, exactly that. And then I kind of go, well, I can do it now.
Let's try something else.
Yeah, like that, exactly that. In fact, so I'll try something else because I've done that, and I find it to be like really cathartic. It like clears your mind because you've got to learn stuff. You've got to read it. You've got to research about it. You've got to, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you've got to get all of that. You got to get it all squared away, and then you've got to learn how to do it. You've got to learn how to, whether it's in a procedure, whether it requires you to learn a new skill or something like that.
Yeah, mental, physical,
and it's not that it like my brain is a bit of a twat, really. To be fair, like because it's the old idle hands are the devil's playthings. Like if I haven't got anything doing, I end up doing something stupid. Do you know what I mean?
Just get bored. Yeah,
getting bored for John is a terrible, 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 terrible idea because John normally ends up hurt. There's me going, I'm bored, or there's me actually bored up a tree with a circular saw. That's when John's bored.
Yeah, I think my consistent hobbies, such as the gaming or music or movies, TV series, I think football, watching football when that's on.
Yeah,
I think where they're consistent, they seem to fill up a lot of the gaps, and then I just do the other things that I like
around or
in between, and they can be spaced apart so far that it doesn't really bother me too much.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a hobby, even if you're doing something a couple of times a year, or it's not so bad because you've got that consistency with the other things.
Yeah.
So you've sort of got your baseline of hobbies, haven't you? And then you've got the other ones scattered around.
That dot around it, like. Things that you can pick up, put down, and then you can do one thing extreme and then not worry about it.
Yeah.
If you haven't done it
I
for
like
6
to
or 8
know
months,
a little bit about everything.
Yeah.
It's just quite nice, isn't it?
Being inquisitive. Yeah. And it I don't know, for me, it makes me obviously feel good because you don't do things that don't make you feel good, but like calm, like level mentally. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you chill out.
It's nice to step back after you've done that and think, oh, okay, yeah, I've done that.
Oh, mate, especially with those cars.
Like, it's amazing. You look back and you're like, wow.
The colour on that Fab, when I got that Fabia, with the boot being like salmon pink, or the back end being salmon pink, and then by the time we'd done it, was glassy all over.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it, what you can do?
Yeah, so it was, I think hobbies are a very important thing for everybody's mental health.
I think I did a little bit of sea fishing. And
man.
I did play a lot of football in my younger days, so that was pretty decent. I've generally done a bit of everything. I've just sort of tried, like you said, just try different things, don't you?
I think you've got to as well, haven't you? Like variety is the spice of life.
Yeah, I even did a little bit of tennis for a little while. But, I think it's all right. A bit like cricket.
Yeah.
Cricket's all right if you're batting.
Yeah. It's crap if you're standing out in the field for hours.
The rest of it's no good.
Boring.
Don't mind playing a bit around, doesn't that, with the kids in the summer?
It's like this, isn't it? Like this podcast. This is definitely a hobby.
Yeah,
I think.
It's basically what we do anyway, but you're recording it.
Yeah,
and we're giving a specific subject.
Yeah.
So rather than come around and discuss what we would generally discuss, we've got some sort of topic and
then that's
having a little chit chat about that.
I think. I mean, that's why I got suggested it with you. I spoke to you about it and said about it because we either go flying off on tangents on stuff, or like we'd get like proper well in depth into a conversation, which is why I thought, actually, for the No Bullshit podcast, actually,
why not?
Me and you, because we're both pretty straight talking people that can talk. It makes sense, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
As a fun little hobby thing to be doing, because I don't think we're going to be Joe Rogan just yet.
No.
It might take a little while.
I'll take the money.
Yeah, mate, 110 million. That's what Spotify just bought his podcast for. 100 million, 110 million.
That's insane.
That's a lot of money, isn't it? So if you're listening to Spotify, wink, wink. But yeah, so you've got to have you've got to have hobbies. Like Liz is massively into her gaming and all that sort of thing, and I think it does your mental health a lot of good to have a focus, even if it is, I don't know, doing your garden.
Yeah, that's
Do you know what I
definitely
mean?
not a hobby for me. That's a chore.
Yeah, but people love it, don't they? They love a bit of gardening.
Absolutely,
mate. Like,
yeah.
Tending to the roses and all that sort of stuff. It's one of them. I actually think that's pretty.
I think, look how long my grass is. I've only got literally about 3 minutes worth to cut. But even the thought of having to do it, I wouldn't even say I'm a lazy person. I just dislike cutting my grass.
AstroTurf, mate. It's the way forward. AstroTurf, all of the things. All of the things. Then you ain't never got to worry about it, have you?
No.
That's that. But it finds you a bit of a peace of mind, doesn't it? I think. Like,
It's nice to have something to do, and I think doing things with other people is always, for me. Although I have gone out running on my own, which is a bit of a more clear your own headspace. Doing things with other people, I don't know.
I'm
think
a
it's good.
people person. Liz will definitely say that. I'm a people person. I much prefer doing things like that with other people than doing it on my own. Whereas she's kind of she's a solitary runner.
Yeah.
Like, she goes out, she enjoys the headspace all the time, and like the out of it, like the idea of running around with other people just would annoy her.
Just making new friends, communicating.
Yeah.
Having a laugh.
See, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I found it with my doing a lot of the fitness, especially in the last lockdown, with where people were like actually a lot more friendly. Like, you go out running down the seafront, because like we're lucky we live right on the coast, so you go running along the seafront, and people that normally would have given you a dirty look because you'd said hello to them were suddenly going all right, and they were sort of either jogging along with you, or do you know what I mean? They'd, like, as you came past them again, they go all right again, another lap. Do you know what I mean? That sort of. Whereas before they would have just given you a dirty look or had their headphones on and not really paid any attention. So I think it sort of. It was quite. It brought people a bit closer together, I think.
Yeah, you probably had a lot of people that don't generally do that sort of thing out and about, or even people that have gone to a gym and that's what they do more cardio than anything else. So they might have just found that cardio somewhere else, and obviously running across the seafront's not a bad thing, is it? It's quite a nice view down there.
Yeah, mate.
Degree.
But the
cliffs and the castle, and
absolutely, mate.
You've normally got a few cruise liners. The 2 Disney cruise liners are in Dover at the moment, aren't they? So,
yeah, they are, mate. Yep.
It's pretty cool to see that sort of thing.
They are. I think the whole, it makes you feel better if you've got a focus, if you've got a hobby, if you've got something that you can do, whether it's a solo thing, whether it's a group activity or a mixture of the both. If you've got your own hobby, it's something for you to get absorbed in and forget about maybe your daily troubles, or your stress from work, or your stress from the wife and the kids, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? You're an escape, isn't it? Yeah, an escape. Yeah. So very, very good for your health. What about worst hobbies? What's the worst hobby that you've ever had, or the thing that you've spent a lot of money on and gone, shouldn't have done that?
I can't say, thinking back, that I've ever done anything in particular and thought, what am I doing? I normally only think about doing something that I'm really looking forward to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's hard to sort of think. Do you know what I did do for a while when I was a kid? My mum bought me a glass engraving kit.
Really?
And it was so good. We all grew up with quite arty.
Yeah.
Not to go to the seafront and start painting pictures off an easel, but a bit of drawing, colouring, or whatever.
Yeah.
I've never really been into painting or anything like that, but pencil drawings and bits like that, I'm quite happy with. Yeah, but I did that for a while, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never had you down as like a glass engraver type.
It was really
never
good.
had you down as that.
It's one of those things where you finish it and you look at it and you're like, wow,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's actually awesome.
Like, so is that like with obviously a bit of glass and then like a tile cutter thing?
Yeah, so it was basically like a pen, then it was like a small, The one
Like
I
the
have,
diamond
like
tip sort of thing.
Yeah, like a small diamond bit in the end of it, and you would literally put like a transfer of what you wanted to engrave on the inside and tape it onto the inside of a glass, like a ball glass or whatever, and then you would literally just go over
Draw
it.
around
so you
it,
go
yeah.
around the outside and then sort of colour in the bits you wanted to
A bit
colour
like
in.
a bit like grown up tracing.
Yeah, but on glass. Yeah.
On glass. Yeah, fair enough.
And then
Alright.
you'd like go over it with like a sanding tool afterwards to like a sanding tip to get it all smooth. So obviously you didn't want to have a glass that looked cool and then grip it and have
Slice your fingers over. Yeah,
splinters in your finger.
yeah, shards of glass in you. Yeah, that's not ideal, is it? So, yeah, man. I think you've got it doesn't matter, does it? If you enjoy it, doesn't matter what it is.
It's just quite nice. I did a bit of model building, things like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We sort of got all those little
The FX kits and that. Yeah.
battleships or
Cars or planes or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
so I did a bit of that.
Yeah, man.
But
I
I
think,
was just like growing up.
yeah. I think as long as it, like I said, as long as it's you enjoy it, it's good for your head, good for your headspace, and you get something really worthwhile out of it. Then it's definitely worth doing. I think that'll do for today. I think that will conclude because you could talk for hours about it.
But did you have any hobbies that you regretted? Did you ever start something and think, wow, this is awful, but I'm going to carry on because I've sort of committed to it to the point where I want to kind of finish it?
Yeah, exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah, exercise. Like running for me. Out of all of it, I don't mind the weights. I don't mind a bit of cardio. I don't mind going for a jog. Like I'll go for a jog because it's a bit like eating. It's a bit like eating cauliflower. Like I don't want to eat cauliflower. I never want to eat cauliflower ever again in my life. But as I've told my daughter, there's lots of vitamins and minerals and nutrients in it that your body requires. Yes, they are in other things, but at this precise moment in time, in this dinner, this is what you've got it in. So you've got to eat it. So I like a bit like that running. Like I don't get people that do running, and I'm like, I so love running. Running is my life. I run like Forrest Gumps. I don't get it.
Marathons,
I don't.
all of it,
No. It's hell. It's horrible. Hate it. I actually hate it, but I'll do it because I know it's good for me. So yeah, I suppose that's probably the only one that I ever
It
really
makes you sick.
actually does make me sick. Yeah. I just don't like it. Don't like it at all. No,
Do
running.
you not come back and think, that's cleared my head, I feel good?
No, I tell you what. I'll come back and I'm like my cool down stuff, my breathing rate, like went from obviously like I've said before, smoker, packing that in was like I could barely run 100 meters, and I'd be boned. Like literally would be out of breath for 10 minutes afterwards. Packed all the fags in, started running, and the last time that I went for a decent run, like about 10k, came back, and it took me about 3 minutes for my heart rate and my breathing to be like as if I was sitting down. Now, one, I wouldn't have been able to do it before, and two, it would have taken me about an hour and a half at least, and about half a packet of fags to have levelled myself out. So it didn't feel like my heart was trying to jump out my chest. So yeah, like I feel better for it, and the endorphins and everything.
Just don't like doing it.
Do it no. Like
The thought of doing it.
the thought, like literally everything up to and including getting to my front door, finishing it. I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. The buzz from it afterwards, totally understand that. I understand runner's high. I get that. Or anybody that does any kind of exercise, the high they get off it. I understand that. I just don't like the physical act of running. It bums. It's horrible. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It's horrible. It sucks. And on that note, I'm going to finish there because now you've made me grumpy thinking about running. But
Let's go for a jog.
yeah, let's not. So see you all next time. I think next time is why don't guys talk enough, or do we talk enough about stuff? So I shall see you then. Take care. Well, I won't see you. I'll speak to you then. Thanks very much.
Ciao for now.
Bye bye.